Hi, you guys. So I've had a couple of requests to redo the videos of the screenshots that I posted with less background music and more context. So I deleted most of them and will be combining them all together with context here. So feel free to pause, rewind, zoom in, take your own screenshots. I encourage you to do so. So this is a screenshot from Stevie, who is Avery and Carter's mother, and she is going on a rant about how the kids at the party are not guilty of anything, pretty much.
Noah Pregrove case recap and highlights from previous videos and live streams.
Yes.
What friend has a lifted truck with really wide tires? I would imagine all of them do, right?
Is that wide tires?
Yeah, that's a lifted truck, all right.
And
How you
that's
doing,
the sold
right?
truck.
That's the sold truck, so it's green. It looks green. Am I tripping? It looks green.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's dark.
Yeah, but it's green. But in some light, it looks like it looks black right there.
Yeah, look at that. Look how well. What are they called? I think they're called spacers, right? Fast Eddie. You see how the wheels stick out from the wheel well?
And look at the picture. Look at the emojis he's got on this picture. A sad face with the little pew and the crying face.
Like shoot me in the head.
Yeah, like I can't believe I got to sell this.
Right.
After all the money I put into it, and he sold it for $6,000. I can tell you, there's more than that just in the freaking stack in the everything that's done to it.
Yes, hotspot. This is the best friend's truck, lifted and gifted.
It was. He got rid of it. It was. He sold it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Along with the Polaris Ranger that was sold as well.
Polaris Ranger. What is that?
The side by side.
Oh, the side by side. Okay. Along with the side by side.
It's been saying that it was a Gator. It was a Gator, but I've been like hawking everything that Caleb, the dad, writes in this group, which is quite a few. I mean, he's active on there all day, every day. I don't know how he gets anything else done, but he said it was a Polaris Ranger.
Right.
And he said that Jack traded his truck for a boat.
For a boat?
You guys, because whatever happened to Noah happened to him in September, so this could also be relevant. Power Max upgraded turbo with 360 thrust plate kit, 10 blade turbine, billet dual plane compressor wheel, high flow up pipes, EGR delete, cat delete, new glow plugs and harnesses, new oiler cooler, new degas bottle, replacement radiator, new motorcraft injectors, blah blah, pretty much all new, and selling it for $9,500, and it sold as well.
Hey. What? Why didn't you tell me?
So it is. And then this one, this is pictures of this one, and look at look at this in here. This is the interior. What is that?
That's a Ford.
No, I'm saying look at the floorboard.
Yeah.
What is that?
Can you enhance it? I mean, blow it up. Can't see.
Let me get my glasses. I'll have to do it like this.
What the hell are my glasses? That is a Jack in the Box bag. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what it is. What the fuck? It's a bunch of junk. Like, why would you get a lariat and then not put some
what is that?
Some rhino bullshit down. And you thinking it might be blood, maybe?
Or
Is that what you're getting?
I don't necessarily think blood, but it looks like mud, it looks like there was mud or something.
It looks like maybe.
I mean, it even looks clay.
Yeah. But see, it's all the way. I just think this dude, whatever.
For nothing.
Put the rhino stuff in the. It's lifted. Not like great. Like, damn, that guy's got. Like in New Mexico, a lot of people got these lifted trucks and shit. They got these.
And I guess he sold the side-by-side on somewhere else because I don't see it on here. This is April 1st. Super clean. Oh, is this the boat that he traded? He's already selling it? Golly.
Yeah. He's already trying to sell it.
Yeah, he still has it, though, because it still says in stock.
Oh. Like, why would you want that?
Take a listen. I ran over here, asked him if Noah was okay, and the semi-truck driver had his hands on Noah like this. And so I just and I could just tell, that he was not okay. He was laying on his side, and he just had his eyes closed, And he had a cut on his forehead. Like, it wasn't just like terrible, it was just a cut on his forehead. The top of his hair was scraped off his head, and there was blood on his ears. 100% in my heart think that he was hit. I think he got hit on the top of his head by a semi. And that shoe that was on good just stayed on. I don't know. I can't explain any of it,
Is there any part of you that believes that he might have been beaten to death?
No, he was not beaten to death.
Why not?
Because just the injuries, you just could tell he's not. And I said, okay, I'll take a polygraph test. I took the polygraph test, and it was nerve-wracking, of course. I had these two things on my fingers. I had a butt pad and then my feet thing and the things around my chest. And I didn't even get to look at the guy. I was looking straight forward, and he was talking to me, asking me questions.
There's a lot of online chatter, and I think that's the reason why they're asking for you to take a polygraph test about you and your father. Tell me about what that experience has been like for you to have to handle that type of discussion happening all around you.
I think the reason that I got brought into it is because, going through high school, you did not hear Jack's name without Noah and Noah without Jack. We were just always together. He lived with us for a while, and we were just always at each other's houses. I think when everybody heard something happened to Noah, they just said, "What about Jack?" And just, I don't know. I don't know where all the crazy talk's coming from. Just sucks.
Do you feel good to kind of be past that a little bit with the polygraph test? Do you believe that you're past that or no?
People saying stuff. People are saying like it's easy to pass a polygraph and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. You can't really control what people say about it. You just know what you know. And I've put my personal number on Facebook and said, if you want to talk about it, I'll talk about it.
So what has these last 7 months been like for you?
It's always been the hardest time of my life. And on top of other people saying everything, it's just been the hardest time of my life.
They finally rule out the hit and run, and that 4-day party turned into something awful that happened within just a short hour time span for him. I believe this is his tooth right here. His pants were folded up on that square mark.
His pants were there, his tooth was right there in that circle?
I believe so, yeah. And his body was here. And he was in the fetal position, facing that way. And his body was covered up with a tarp or a blanket type of thing. And as you're looking at it, you can see blood seeping through the covering and onto the ground. As I'm looking at it, it just seems weird. The placement of the body of the tooth, the shorts, where they're at, doesn't look like a hit and run. Not that I've been aware of.
Have you ever heard them say foul play is suspected?
I've heard suspected of foul play, suspicious death. And again, they don't tell me everything because they don't want to ruin the investigation. But they said that they've got a couple of people in mind on the situation, and that they're really looking in on them. So,
are you able to tell me who those people are?
They haven't told me.
But they have said that they have a few people in mind.
Yeah.
Interesting. Somebody's got to know something.
Somebody's got to know something. If there's 40 people standing around and someone, walks off, somebody knows about it. So if 40 people are standing around and somebody gets into a fight, somebody knows about it, and with how close everyone is, with how many pictures are taken on Snapchat, you think that something has to turn up. Somebody has to know something and just doesn't want to say it.
And has law enforcement been pretty open with you about the things that you're hearing or what they are investigating?
Somewhat, they're willing to talk about certain things, but then there's some things that's like they don't want to say too much because what if it messes up with the investigation, and so there's a lot of areas that we're still in the dark about, that they know more about, and I'm hoping that they know more about the situation. That's kind of their job, and the only way we're going to get through this thing is if we're still hopeful.
Do you have friends? So blunt force trauma to the head, and your thoughts when reading that is that it's quite possible this might have been the hands of somebody else?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's what's got me thinking that it wasn't no accident, He'd been just beat in the head so many times that it just, and it couldn't have been by a car. Just once I saw his face, I just couldn't do it. So I have no idea about the hair.
I can tell it's still so fresh in your mind.
Oh, yeah. It just won't go away, and it won't. And these kids, they've been hanging out here for the last 4 or 5 years, with that boy. And it's just, hard to believe that you could have friends like that and they all just stabbing you in the back. I've talked to a few myself, only the closest ones that I feel like I could, but not really getting nothing out of them. I mean, one of them I've gotten a couple stories, 2 different stories out of his mouth, and another one I've gotten 3 different stories out of his mouth. So, which story is true, And in my heart, I just pray to God Jack has nothing to do with it, because I love Jack, but, that was Noah's best friend. And where was he, I hate to put that on him, but, it keeps going through my head. If they've done wrong, and they need to stand up and be a man and admit it, regardless. If it was an accident, why didn't y'all just say it was and call 911? I have respect for the law enforcement, but I just feel like, I just don't feel like they're doing enough right now. They're not giving us no information. They're not giving us no hope. And it would be nice to have a little hope. It's not going to go away, until this is resolved. We will not stop until it's resolved. And that, and I'm hoping that it will put pressure on them, to let's get busy and get this figured out, and I'm hoping it will. Until you come and you tell me what happened to my grandson. You can't get over it. And I don't even know if I'll get over it then,
I've made repeated attempts. Cousins, siblings, and grandparents to reflect on the 19-year-old's short life.
Not a time when you saw that boy did he not give you a hug, tell you how much he loved you.
He was goofy. He was hilarious.
Fearless.
Very fearless.
I've taught him life and about just about having fun in life, you know, and he's just always been there with us.
It's been a long time to wonder what led to Noah being found dead, lying on the side of Highway 81 in rural Jefferson County after a night partying with friends back on Labor Day.
At the end of the day, what we know is that he lost his life. He was found on the side of the highway, and it appears that he was dumped there. And someone knows what happened, and we want to know what happened.
When you don't have answers, you can't close your heart from that heartache.
They hoped investigators with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol would help fill in some of those gaps. But investigators told them something else.
That they're working on it and they just want to keep it quiet.
Noah's family says investigators won't share them the medical examiner's report, which could at least tell them what caused Noah's death.
We're just not getting no answers.
I feel that we've been pretty much left in the dark for the past few months. They say that they're working on it, but nothing's happening.
Right now, they're just left to guess.
You can't move past, you just keep reliving in the anger.
And hope that someone, anyone who knows more, will feel it in their heart to give this family answers before 7 months turns into 8.
What if it was their child? How would they feel if nobody was talking or saying anything? When you know that your child was with some of his best friends, but nobody knows anything, how would you feel?
And now we reached out to
nothing really new, because for the most part, it's went radio silent by the characters that we usually talk about. However, I've been going back through my files and found some ones that I think might have been overlooked, or maybe didn't necessarily mean anything, or, you know, didn't know different people and who was what at the time whenever we went over them. And I think they bring more weight now, at least for me anyway, knowing what I know and who I know. So we're going to go over these ones that I have, and then I'm going to read them and then talk about why I think they're significant, and, you know, what the little red flags or whatever it is that stuck out to me. So first up, we have Jack. We've seen this several times, but I have it added to this compilation because of the mention of the side-by-side. So we'll just read them first, and then I'll talk about why I added it. All right, so this over here in the gray or white, whatever, is Jack, and then the purple is whoever is talking to him. So Jack says, no, they even took my Ranger into evidence, talking about the side-by-side. He says, and they released it because they said it had nothing to do with how Noah died. Okay, now the reason I have this screenshotted and the reason I want to talk about this particularly today is because this is the one of many times that Jack leads on or implies that he's speaking with investigators and is being given information regarding the the ongoing investigation. Now, that wouldn't necessarily be something that I would take note of, except for the fact that the family has been stonewalled, and this information is not being given to them under the the whole vibe of, okay, it's an open investigation, we can't tell you, but apparently you can tell some people. But if you're going to be that way, you should be that way across the board. I absolutely respect and understand, and protecting the integrity of an investigation. However, that's not the case when you're dropping pieces and giving information to people that, in my opinion, are absolutely suspects. But that's just my opinion. Allegedly, everybody's innocent until proven guilty, blah, blah, blah. But, it just seems a little off base and a little ass backwards, excuse my language, to be given information to witnesses, if we're not going to say suspect at this point, if nothing else, and not to the family. That there, you have to stop and ask yourself why that is, and how that's even taking place, you know? So, moving on. The person who's messaging Jack says, you think a random vehicle got him, maybe? Jack says no, because there was zero traffic through that area from when he passed away until when it was called in. Okay, that's a big statement to make, Jack. Because, first of all, you were sleeping, remember? How do you know, silly boy? But second of all, do you know what that, as a grand scheme of things, that statement says several things. That says that not only was he not sleeping, which we already at this point know, in my opinion, allegedly. I don't believe he was asleep at all for a second, but that's just my opinion. I'm entitled to it. You are entitled to your own. So, but that also indicates to me that he has access to some type of video surveillance or cameras, or how would you know that there was not a zero, not there wasn't many, he said zero vehicles. Okay, so how do you know? What surveillance have you seen? What footage have you seen that could corroborate that? And how do you know what time frame to even watch that said surveillance? Because how do you know what time? You sound pretty very specific when you say that. How do you know what time Noah died if you were sleeping and you just stumbled upon him at random? You get what I'm saying? You know, I could go several different avenues of this, but it all leads back to one thing. It's not looking too good for you, Jackie Poo. You are giving unnecessary detail on a question, and ultimately telling me everything I need to know. I'm picking up what you're laying down, but I don't know if you are intending to put to put this out there, because it doesn't look good, my guy. Moving on. Now, listen to this, okay? According to the Terrell store camera, so he's talking about the mini mart. The mini mart that's owned at that time, not now, been sold since then, which is a whole nother conversation, by none other than yours truly, Jeremy Wilson. Who is Jeremy Wilson? Oh, Jeremy Wilson. Yes, Jeremy Wilson. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Jeremy Wilson is the Jefferson County Sheriff. No way. So, let that sink in for a second. I'll be right back. So, that means a couple of things. It could mean, allegedly, in my opinion. Sorry, I have to say that every time. There was a sit down of some kind, or somewhere where, Jack sat down with the owner of the store, which I just told you who that was, and was shown that video and was able to confidently make the statement that there was nobody on it from the time that Noah passed away until the time the 911 call was called in, because he's that guy, apparently, and he just knows everything. So, next comment, he says, I'm telling you. Okay, he said it was either the Texas boys or the semi driver. Okay, now get this. We've mentioned this a couple of times. Me and Ruben have talked about it a lot. The semi truck driver, now there's allegedly two different two different semi truck drivers and allegedly two different service truck drivers. Okay. None of the semi truck drivers have ever been named, not even remotely, even a little bit. Like, I'm assuming they're male, because at this point I've kind of heard that, but I don't even know that is set in stone. I've not heard a single describing detail about either one of these. I've heard describing factors about the trucks, and that's why I say that there's two, because at one point in time there was a box truck, and then later on there was a crude trailer, so that would imply that there would have to be two different semi-truck drivers. So that would mean they would have to be two different drivers. That's just an assumption. I don't know. It could be the same person driving two different trucks. I have no idea. That's how little is out there on these truck drivers. Okay. Have not heard any 911 call. I heard that two exist that were made like minutes apart, but I have not heard them. I do not know the validity of them. I do not know what time they came in. I know there's rumors it was at 5:53 and one was at 5:46, but then again, that is just what I've heard. I have not seen that in black and white or heard the call for myself. So take that with a grain of salt. So then the next thing that Jackie Poo says is I've already messaged the semi driver asking if we could talk. So what does that mean? Well, Jack knows who they are. If you message them, that sounds a little personal. Like flag. That's a huge red flag. This whole conversation is riddled with red flags. And I believe they were I'm not going to say overlooked, because when you don't know stuff, it's not going to hit you the same. But now, knowing what I know now at this point, at this time, in the investigation or whatever we're calling this deep dive, this is riddled with red flags for me. Like, I have sticky notes all up and over just every line that is made, every statement made by Jack is got something that is making my spidey senses go a bidding. So this was one of the several statements made by Caleb, which is Jack's dad. And we're going to go over it with a fine-tooth comb, no pun intended, because maybe just for the sake of to be thorough, and when there's nothing new out, that I like to go back to the beginning. And I can't stress this enough. It's very, very, very beneficial for me in the way that I do things and the way that I take notes, the way that I do, that if I go back and I watch something again, or I look at something again, or I go over something again with new knowledge or just a different perspective, I take notes every time I go back, and then I will compare and contrast the notes. And it's a very progressive thing that is beneficial for me. And I just like to have it to fall back on so that I can see like how my own perspective changes, and and it's very educational for myself. So we're going to do it. I have not went back over Caleb's statements, even though I know whenever when I first came upon them, they were riddled with red flags to me then. So I can only imagine how many are going to stick out to me now, because there was a lot to begin with. It's a hot mess. So let's just get right into it. So this is in the Justice for Noah Pregrove Facebook page. I don't know if it's still up or not. This is my screenshot. So it says 2 hours ago, but this was obviously when this was posted, which has been well over a month ago now. So he says, everyone that I've asked has advised me to social media silence, because every comment or piece of info is met with attacks, no matter how valid. But here's mine. We had a plan to fish that morning with me, my son, and my dad. Supposed to meet at my house at 6:30 a.m. My son texted me at 5:53 a.m. saying he'd overslept. That's a lie. He did not say he overslept. Not saying that it's a big lie, not even saying that it's anything. It's a game changer. However, there is nothing in that conversation that stated he overslept. So I do have to be thorough in the way that I document things, in the way that I note things. That is not a true statement, because he did not say that. The text message did not say anything about oversleeping. He said, I'll meet you at the boat ramp. And he said, I asked him to bring a hat because someone had messed with his the night before. Nothing about oversleeping, nothing about running late, nothing of the sort. So that's just, it is what it is. Now, whether or not they had a phone call in between there or before there or after that, and that's where the conversation took place, well, if that's the case, then that's what you need to say, Caleb, because that's not what you said. You said he texted you that, and that is not true. Moving on. So 5:53, saying he'd overslept a bit, and he'd meet us at the ramp, and to bring him a hat. He couldn't find his, to my knowledge. I don't think he knew Noah was evening. I think he means even, but I digress. Missing yet. Then about 6:05 a.m., I got a call no parent ever wants to get, and it was short. It was short and hard to understand him, but he had driven up on. Oh, listen, y'all do not come for me. I did not type this. I am reading it. It's the way it's typed. I digress. He had driven up on Noah. There were already a couple vehicles there that had made the 911 call. I called my dad, told him about the call. He said, come pick me up on the way. We drove straight there. By the time we arrived, there were several law enforcement and fire and rescue on the job. On the job or on the scene? Because most people that are rolling up on their son's dead best friend would not call it a job unless they're there to do a job and clean shit up. I'm just saying, verbiage is everything for me. That's a very strange way to describe it. Most people would say the scene. Some people would say the accident. Or most people would just say the scene, but to call it the job, I feel like that speaks volumes. Maybe he's telling a little bit more than he meant to right there. Maybe it was a job. Maybe it was absolutely a job because he did a good job at that. Fucking shit up. I digress. Hey, I didn't write it. He did. So, I went to console my son. Yes, I was on scene. See, now he knows to call it a scene. Because that's probably, now he went from job to scene. Now think about what that could mean when just in itself, the verbiage, okay? From job to scene, it sounds to me like he's working an act, scene now, and that would be exactly what he was doing when he's consoling his son. Oh, just nod and grin, just play the part, look sad. Yeah, I feel like he's being very, very, very forthcoming in the verbiage that he's using, because as strange as it might sound, if you think about it with a broader perspective, it almost isn't strange at all. It's almost like he's telling you exactly what happened and exactly what he was doing. He was playing a part, scene, action, and doing a job. And that job was to make sure his son didn't spend the rest of his life in jail because he was complicit of something in some way, allegedly, in my opinion. Moving on. Yes, I was on scene. Then it was being treated as an accident, not a crime scene. We were all trying to piece together what happened. I had been on scene just a few minutes when I called to tell his dad. I wasn't until the ME medical examiner got there and told Highway Patrol that his injuries weren't extensive enough to have been a car strike. Then the scene was cleared and processed. I went with Highway Patrol to inspect the UTV. Now that's interesting. Very interesting. And I don't know that I didn't catch that before because it's probably in my notes. However, it does strike me different right now. So that means that he left the scene of where Noah was at after the medical examiner got there and said that there wasn't enough damage for it to be a car strike. Then Highway Patrol says, okay, we probably better get all these bystanders and all these people off of the out of here and not, tampering and ultimately ruining, damaging any other evidence that could be there. You know, way to better late than never, I guess, right? So after that, the same highway patrol person, Mr. Lovely Zachary Wright, who is just so smart and just such a good, just the bestest detective ever on the history of everdom, said nobody ever, loaded up apparently, and I don't know if they went in the same vehicle. I mean, I would be interested to know all this. However, it's not mentioned. It's just stated that they go together, them being the highway patrol, Mr. Zaki Poo and Caleb, and they go to where the UTV is at. ATV, UTV, whoever's asking, what the side by side, okay? Which was at the party house. And inspected it. So if they thought at this point in the investigation, which is what he just said, that it was an accident, that it wasn't a crime scene, why would the highway patrol need to go inspect that ATV? Especially if at this point you're still saying that it was a hit and run. So do you think he was hit by the ATV and left there? Because you're not making sense, my guy. It can't be both. And if there was an accident on the ATV and the ATV is not there anymore and Noah is, that, my friend, is a crime. Not the fact that he got hurt in an accident, if and how or whatever that even happened. The crime is dumping him there with knowledge of that accident and then going on your merry way and playing dumb and letting it play out the way that it has. That is where the criminal element comes into this. And it can't be both, Caleb. So you should choose your words more wisely next time, because this is not helping Jackie Poo. Moving on. The UTV, if it tipped, it was minor enough. Minor enough. Okay, think about the way that says. What that says when you put those two words together. That is very, very, very trying to, how do I downplay. You know, it's minimalization. Like, it's very, trying to make less of something that is more significant, in my opinion. I mean, aside from the fact that it's really poor English and it's broken grammar, I think it is a way of Caleb trying to minimize what he's saying. So let's keep going. Was minor enough to not leave scratches. Just a couple days later, I was called in the interview with Highway Patrol, told everything I knew, gave them my phone. Now, why the fuck? Sorry, excuse my language, you guys, but this just went from like extremely left turn, like NASCAR type shit. Like, whoa, what the fuck is it fucking fuck? Like, why would you go and give your phone? You weren't at the party, remember? And you got the call at 6:05, and the law enforcement was visibly on scene when you got there. So why would they need your phone to corroborate that is very, very strange, sir. But do tell. I'm intrigued. Why would you, Caleb, need to give them your phone? They were on scene when you arrived, so they can corroborate your movements from your account of what, unless that's not true, unless you got there earlier and they suspected that, or unless you know that. Why would they need your phone? But yet they didn't take the people's phones who were actually at the party that offered it. Here, take my phone. They don't want it. Like Caden, for example, didn't want his phone. Didn't want anything off of his phone. But yet they took yours. You're either lying your natural ass off, or the math ain't mathin', my guy. That's a very bizarre statement to make. Just saying. Not Jack's phone, your phone. Seems a little strange. Sorry, not sorry. Moving on. Strange. Sorry, not sorry. Moving on. gave them my phone to pull anything they wanted. I was told then that they knew he wasn't beaten, but they didn't think it was a car strike either. Okay. I'm not even going to dive into that because we will be here all fucking night, but I digress. That's the most info that's been told to me. This is all complete, locked in facts. Shut the fuck up. Who walked? Okay. Anyway, I cannot stand this motherfucking guy. In my opinion, allegedly, what the fuck ever. Like, who the fuck died and made you God? Like, oh, it's locked in facts because I said so? Shut the fuck up. Sit down with your fucking locked in ass. Jesus Christ. Moving on. Now, my opinion, that nobody asked for, but here we are. Now, my opinion is I've known this group of kids for years. His friends have the character. His friends don't have the character to hurt each other. They are great kids and have the character. No, that's what he said. I don't in any way think any of his friends have the character to hurt each other or even to be scared to call for help if there was an accident they knew of. To me, they are innocent until I'm told otherwise. Another note, my brother-in-law lost his life hitting a parked car in my UTV a little over a year ago. Why that's brought up, I have no idea. His accident was actually caught on my neighbor's yard cam. What the actual fuck are you talking about? Why are you I don't have words. That Twitter pated me a little bit. Like, why would you feel the need to say that right now in this post with no periods or commas? The longest run-on sentence I've ever fucking read in my life. But why would you feel the need to put that and put it the way that you did on this post? And then you wonder why people are suspicious of you. Well, it's because you open your fucking mouth and say weird shit like that. Cheese and rice. That is fucking bizarre. And completely, I don't have a word to suffice at this point. I'll just stick with bizarre. Okay. Now we have Carter. Carter is someone that is just as high up on my list as Jack. No, not because they're engaged or fake broke up or whatever the fuck they're playing they're doing this week on social media. Because she has just as much bizarre statements and activities that took place in the beginning stages of this investigation as Jack does. Almost a little bit worse than Jack because she even went as far as factory data resetting her phone, and within doing so didn't even have Jack's phone number in there whenever she needed, to reference that, because that's how good she'd wiped it. And she told the investigator in the initial interview that she didn't even know who Noah was. And now we know that's a fucking lie. So you have to ask yourself, why would you do that if there was nothing to hide or you're not guilty of anything? That's a very, very odd way to act if you're very innocent and trying to be forthcoming. I'm just saying, but hey, I don't, maybe that's just how you act whenever you're not scared or not worried. I don't know. It's fucking weird. I'm sorry, but not sorry. In my opinion, allegedly, supposedly, allegedly. So this is a comment that was immediately deleted, but she can't delete my screenshot. Sorry, but not sorry. By Carter, okay? And she's referring to something that Caden posted, and this is when she came out of the woodwork to say that Caden is his account of what happens wrong and blah, blah, blah. So this is what she says. The 911 call was made at 5:53 a.m. or close to that. How do you know that, Miss Ma'am? Because any other time you're asked about anything else, you're, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. But now all of a sudden you know some shit. Do tell. Moving on. I believe, well, you're not looking too good on credibility. However, I'll allow it. I digress. So the whole 515 is wrong because she said so, right? The liar, with very little truth in her lies, Mrs. I'm untouchable because I'm Carter Combs, says that it's a lie. Not that it's wrong because she said so. I digress. And phones and calls and texts will prove that. Really. So, did Jack call somebody when he came there and woke Caden up? Did you call somebody when Jack came in there and woke up? I would love to see these call logs. I'm sorry, Boo Boo, not to be unfair or biased at this point, but the facts are the facts, and when people tell stories that change and they lie, you have zero credibility in my book, Boo Boo. And like I said, I'm just little old me nobody over here, but I believe Caden because every time I've asked Caden a question, he answers it in a non-defensive way, and his story stays the same every time. So 9 times out of 10, that probably implies or indicates that he's telling the truth. So that's what I'm going to put my poker chips on. However, I will humor out the rest of this comment, even though I think you're full of shit, in my opinion, allegedly. So you're going to have to provide those phone records to be making statements like that, and even more so making accusations like that someone else is lying. You better come with receipts, boo-boo, or you don't get no leeway over here. You just don't. I also just want to mention, out of everyone there, Jack has been the only one to take a lie detector test willingly. Why would you say that? Has anybody else been asked to take a lie detector test and denied it? And if so, who? Why would he have been asked to take a lie detector test to begin with if he's innocent and has always been deemed as innocent and has never been a suspect? They don't give innocent people lie detector tests. They usually give people they suspect are lying lie detector tests. And I have my doubts that it even actually took place because I can, and I'm entitled to my opinion. I don't believe it was administered, and I don't believe he passed it. But I don't believe, even more than him not passing it, I don't believe he was given one. I think it's just something that he's saying. Because in his defense, who's out here fact checking him? Not OHP, not OSBI. So, I guess in his defense he can at this point. I digress. So, and pass it, and he's been cleared from the investigation. So OHB or OSBI, either way, is telling you, little miss suspect of the South, that who's cleared and who's not. Well, that seems a little conflict of interest if I've ever seen one in my motherfucking life. Either that's a bull-faced lie, which we know that she does do that, so that is very much so possible, or she's telling the truth and we have a bigger problem here. I digress. You be the judge of that. Not a professional. However, I am a professional at knowing bullshit, and a spade's a spade, and this is bullshit. If I've ever seen it, it is bullshit. I'd also like to mention, Jack didn't just walk in and tell us Noah had passed away. He came in running and buried his head into my bed, saying Noah was gone, stayed for a minute, and said, I gotta get back to Noah. I can't leave him alone. There. Also, like the phones do, so none of us went back to sleep. Me, as in Carter, Logan, Avery, and Jasmine, and her parents Okay? And her parents. This is really fucking important, y'all, because this is one of these things that is trending in these groups right now that is being disputed, which is the time that the parents started arriving. And Jasmine's parents are allegedly saying that they didn't get there until 8 or 9. Well, that's crazy because apparently, according to Carter's lie, that it was at 5:15 or 6:15. Regardless, that's way fucking before 9. And you, my dear, just said, me, Logan, I'm going to say this again, real fucking slow and real loud for the people sitting way back there in the back. Me, as in Carter, Logan, Avery, and Jasmine, and her parents stayed outside crying. Okay? Her words, not mine. I digress. Not understanding any of this, just like you, but this is also spreading lies, and I will stand by that in court too. And I pray to God Noah gets justice and all of his family and friends have peace. This has gone on way too long with no answers. Noah is the only victim here. I ain't even gonna trip. Ain't even gonna trip, little Miss Thing. You do you, boo-boo. With your bad self. You're gonna have to do a little bit better than that with people like me on your ass because you have been caught in a lie. And not only did you catch yourself in a lie, but now you put your friends in a pickle because they are lying. And you, either way, this is not looking too good for you, boo-boo. Any of you. So next, we got the infamous, I won't say famous, infamous, Stevie Howard. Directing this towards Justin Roy. And she says, you'll see, I'm on at night. I don't sleep. Good to know. Sometimes before work, and most times not at all. And yes, serious charges. I promise you, we have ammo to fire back. Okay, that is very odd. Like, okay, because that could mean it in the literal sense, which, hello, I don't have to put that together for you. Or that could mean that they have, they have shit in the chamber, the symbolic chamber, so to say, that if somebody says something, we're going to fire back. Like, in other words, we got blackmail to whoever this is. We're prepared either way, is what that sounds like to me. But hey, what do I know? I'm not a. It would probably take a very, 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 very skilled set of language experts to try to find the hidden lingos and mingos and fucking hidden and nimbos and all the cryptic shit in the way that this woman speaks and the things that she says. It's very, very, very bizarre, to say the least. You know what else are serious charges? Poor Thad. I don't even know what that means, but poor Thad, as in THAD, without prejudice. You know what that means? Winky face, period. And I'd say holding stronger than your Best Buy golf clubs. What the fuck did you just say? First of all, okay, Ms. Bougie, because you got daddy's money. Apparently shopping at Best Buy is a little bit above her standards from that statement. But why the fuck are you talking about golf clubs? The golf clubs that nobody, like, what? This bitch has balls. I will give her that. But that tells you something about the way that she is wired. That's not a level of arrogance that you just wake up with. Most people in the same scenario with the same circumstances would be afraid that everything they would say would be held under scrutiny or that they might be held accountable for some of that fuck shit that rolls off their tongue. But she operates with a level of arrogance like she's untouchable. She could say what she wants, do what she wants, and ain't nobody gonna do shit about it. That's the way that she talks. Just saying. In my opinion, allegedly, supposedly, blah, blah, blah. This is a screenshot again from Stevie. Said, "Oh, I never said that at all." His sister and I were talking about Noah's sister, okay? His sister and I were talking, and I was saying what a mess Noah was. Said he would joke and tell Avery, oh, there's my wife when I'd come in. He was like, is it gonna be weird you dated your stepdad? What the teetotal actual fuck? Because that's appropriate to even condone and to even think it's funny, and not to say, hey, first of all, most kids' moms that their daughter's friends are coming over, that would be disrespectful, and they would have been checked and say, hey, that's inappropriate. Creating boundaries, okay? Not, oh, he hair flip, that's first of all, and second of all, why the fuck are you telling his sister this after he's gone? That is so inappropriate. I digress. Like, just joking with her. Because, yeah, now is the time for fucking jokes, lady. And even then, it's not fucking funny. It's fucking weird. And it's honestly really gross that you're fucking hee flattered by it. Anyways, I digress. Noah was very playful and honoring. It was a joy to be around. I meant no disrespect. Well, you didn't have to mean it. However, it was very fucking disrespectful, you dumb ass. When I said that at all, and that girl knew it. That girl, first of all, what the... Oh, let me back her down. Me. Knew it, and I believe wholeheartedly. But it looks better on podcasts being referenced another way, I guess. Well, first of all, you don't look at podcasts. Podcasts are something you listen to, so you wouldn't be looking at anything. It would sound better on podcasts. But I digress. You fucking buffoon. This bitch has got to be... I mean, are you smarter than a 5th grader, lady? I guess when you got enough money, you just don't have to be smart, because fuck my life. Allegedly. In my opinion. Into this shit. So this is the conversation with Jack. Okay. He says, so, that's just a rumor going around. Only one phone pinged around Noah at all. And it was mine. That's why I wanted to go up there and clear it up. And they said just because my phone had bad service, it is probably why my phone showed me over there in the field behind where Noah was found. Hello. Your bad shut the fuck up, Jack. Shut the fuck up. Like, right now. What the fuck? Your bad like, the police are helping you fucking debunk why you were there? Why your phone showed you there? No, bitch, it's because you were there. The fuck? Phone data doesn't lie. Period. I digress. That's why I took the polygraph. Huh. And the Texas Rangers aren't involved yet. Once again, my guy, how the fuck do you know who's involved and to what degree? Once again, you know more than you should know. Why the fuck are you being shown phone pings? Even if it was your phone. That's like fucking textbook number 1. You don't show your hand. Why would you show the suspect if your phone pinged where Noah was fucking found at the time you said he'd passed away? Your words, not mine. That would make you a fucking suspect. Textbook detective numero uno, okay? Let's just fucking be real clear, okay? And then why are you being shown anything? Why are they letting you know that they're onto you? That's fucking bizarre. And it definitely does not follow any kind of fucking protocol that I've ever been made aware of. But what do I know? I'm not a professional. But neither are these scroungy fucks at this point. I said what I said. Ain't no allegedly, or in my opinion, it is what it is. Fuck that. Stick that in your juice box and suck it. I digress. Okay, now this I screenshotted because of the date, okay? The date that this message that I'm referring to, okay, you can't see it. It's really small, but it's right here where my mouse is. It says May the 11th at 12:06 a.m., okay? The question to Jack is, was there a second autopsy done? Jack's response to that is at May 11th at 12:06 a.m., he says, he being Jack, I don't know. I didn't think the autopsy was coming out until the 13th. So this is on the 11th. The fucking autopsy very much so did come out on May the 13th. So how the fuck did you know when it was going to be released and what the fuck it contained before then? You got released the fucking autopsy before the public or the family did? We got big problems. Somebody's got some explaining to do. I don't even want to know how. I want to know fucking why. Make that make sense. I'll wait. You see the date here? May the 11th. So a whole 2 days before it was released, he knew it was going to be released and what day it was going to be released. And he was absolutely correct. It was fucking released on the 13th as planned. How does he know that? Why does he know that? When did he become aware of that? Who made him aware of that? Naughty, naughty, naughty. I digress. My video. But it is very important. Now this. Justice for Noah, okay? This person, this gray will, I'm going to show you who that is. Lives in Waurika, Oklahoma. Do you know who this is? This is Jeremy Wilson, the Jefferson County Sheriff. Yes, yes, that's who that is. Okay, let's go back. He says, we need justice for this young man. I, as Sheriff of Jefferson County, know information. This has all been turned over to Oklahoma Highway Patrol. This is their case. We will not release any information per the district attorney's guidance because it's an ongoing investigation. We have never been an agency that publishes information to draw attention. We just want justice. Well, apparently you'll share it with Jackie Poo. Mr. Showed him the surveillance from your store that you sold since then, sir. Mr. Showed him the autopsy before it was released to the public, sir. Mr. Showed him the phone ping, sir. I mean, it was you or Trooper Wright. But Trooper Wright didn't show him that fucking surveillance from the store. That's your store. Well, it was your store until you sold it, which is real convenient for the fucking circumstances, isn't it, Sheriff? You corrupt son of a bitch. I said what I said. Sue me. Ain't gonna get blood out of a turnip. Run it. And Defamation of character and slander would mean that what I'm saying is not true. And boy, baby, let me tell you, I got receipts. Ain't nothing I said was true. You just don't like what I said, and that sucks to suck. Maybe you should do better at your job. You took an oath to do. You scroungy fuck. Sorry. Not sorry. Not even a little bit. This we've been over it a couple times. However, it's always going to be the forefront of importance to me because this is Noah's aunt, and she says the first official on the scene was a volunteer firefighter, Avery Carter's grandfather, Bub Wilcoxon. To be specific, another volunteer firefighter on scene is related to JM, which is Jasmine Millen. You guys, and if that does not make your spidey senses go ring-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding, then I don't know what will. Because that is not only Avery's grandfather, but it's also the fucking property owner. So, I digress. Stevie says to whoever she's referring to in this comment, they didn't ask. They just took it. It was they're talking about the side-by-side. She's talking about the side-by-side, sorry. It was my daughter and another kid. They drove down the road and back. They assumed he had gotten a ride because they didn't find him. The kid's locations of phones per police software confirm this, so matches with their story. What the fuck do you know about police? What the hell? Red, I call flag on the play. What the fuck, lady? Why do you know about police software and what phone? I thought you didn't see the phone pings. I thought only Jack did. So now you're being shown investigative information as well. Do tell. Who's showing you this? Is it Jeremy? I digress. Did you hook your phone up to the fancy police software too? Was it like, bring your phone to work day? Fuck my life. Alright, Stevie again. She says, after 8 a.m., my dad called her. Her dad is Bub Wilcoxon. She's talking about her sister, Sarah. My dad called her after 7, after our hired hand beat on the door and woke him up. He was getting dressed to go down there. Called her, woke her up. She came to Terrell because I was out of town. So was my other sister with her hubby and family, who's also supposed to be the one of the first on scene, LOL, because this is a laughing matter, bitch. She was the closest at the time. She got to Terrell after 8 or so. Blah, blah, bullshit, blah. That's the thing, says Stevie. I have not attacked. He gave his account and I gave ours. One lady commented, intimidating a witness, LOL, question mark. How so? Yet for 9 months we have seen ridicule, rumor, and threat. I discredit his statements, most part because he did already give his to law enforcement 7 months ago, when he wasn't mad at other kids and it was different. And regardless, law enforcement have even deemed his account so uncredited that they have disregarded any testimony on his account of that day anyway. Wow. Don't you fucking look good in your big girl pants over there. How on earth do you have the wherewithal to say that shit? How do you say someone's discredited? And better yet, why the fuck is law enforcement telling you anything? That's either a big, big lie or we got a big, big fucking problem again. What the fuck is happening here? Do we not have policies and procedures and protocols and procedures in place for what not to do? Come the fuck on, Oklahoma. Get your shit together. Is this a fucking investigation or is this a gosh darn circus? Because I don't know myself. It's looking a lot more like a fucking circus than it is any kind of professional anything. A professional circus, a professional shit show. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Okay, well, it kind of is. I digress. Holy crap-a-doodle. Can you guys hear me now? Because, okay, there we go. That was bizarre. Any hoosers. Alright, so I have a couple of things I want to do. I want to go. We kind of went over, well, I say we, but I kind of went over a few things of I would say mostly Jack, but a little bit of Carter, a little bit of Stevie, but mostly Jack. And just broke it down word for word, like the verbiage all the way down to, I mean, everything. Okay, so those statements were made very early on. We listened to his News Nation interview, and then with all of that kind of in the back of our, well, not the back of our mind, the forefront of our minds now, since it's fresh on the brain, We're going to listen to that second half of the interview that he just did with Partners in True Crime that we didn't get to the other night, and have that to compare to what we just listened to, and see how many more red flags we can find in his statements, words, all the above, because every single time I do this, and when I say this, I mean I go over and analyze with a fine-tooth comb what Jack says. It doesn't matter whether it's fresh or I've looked at it 2 weeks ago or I've looked at it 2 months ago. Every single time I do this, I come out with something that I didn't notice before, another red flag of some sort. It is always very, very, very sticky note worthy, and boy, do I got a million of those things with Jack's name on it. So, ow. Let me pull this up real quick and we'll get started. Yes, I'm running a one-man band over here. No, I do not know where Ruben is. However, he's subject to come waltzing his behind in here a day late and $1 short, but it's okay because I'm usually late to my own stream, so can't really hold it against him. However, I can talk shit because he expects it.
pair of shorts. They're my wrestling shorts, actually, from school. To my dad's house, that's where we went to my dad's house. And OSBI came. They were just asking stuff, and they ended up saying, "Would you be willing to take a polygraph for everything?" I was like, "Yeah." I mean, everyone said yes, not just me. And then the next day, or maybe a few days went by, and they called everyone, the detectives and like the OSBI that was at Comanche. And they got like all my friends, Carter, Avery, everyone went there, and they pulled everyone's phones. Not everyone from the party, but everyone that was there when it happened.
That's the other thing that I'm trying to still wrap my head around. I mean, I know about Jack's polygraph case. I confirmed that with OHP that he did take it, and that was whether it was conclusive or inconclusive, whether he passed or passed. You know, he says he passed. So we have to take his word on that. But as far as the rest of the people, are you aware of anybody else other than Jack that gave up their phones and took polygraphs that you're aware of that they're telling you, or that you're aware of that?
Whenever they had that group interview, OHP took away their phones, like took them from them. But as far as I'm aware, I don't think anybody else has taken a polygraph, have they, Ashley?
No. At least not that we're aware of. You know.
Yeah.
I was talking to Zach the other day and regarding Mikey, and he said, because I think he took a polygraph too, but he wasn't sure. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they did it and didn't let people know, and maybe the people who took polygraphs, maybe they're not publicizing it like Jack was. So we'll just have to wait and see and talk to those people and find out for ourselves.
They got everyone's names, and everyone come in, they got their phones, and then everyone agreed to a polygraph that day.
Did they all take a polygraph?
And nobody, not one person took a polygraph test that day. I'm the only one that's taking one, and they just called me up on a random day.
And what did they tell you after you took the test?
I don't know. Apparently, so Zach told me from the start, like, I know that you had nothing to do with it from the start, but apparently he's been told Noah's entire family that he thought that I did or something. I don't know.
Well, did they say anything to you?
No. What do you mean, like?
Did they tell you if you passed or not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they told me right when I got on taking it that it was perfect pass.
They said it was a perfect test?
Perfect pass.
Perfect pass. Who told you that?
Zach, the examiner from Oklahoma City, and the results were right there. I mean, they just watched my entire body. They had stuff on my neck, under my butt, under my feet, on my fingers. Had stuff all over me. Just watching my body.
And they told you that they said that you passed?
Yeah. They even called Aunt Robin and told her.
Okay.
Because Zach told me that morning, said, if you pass, I'll call Noah's family and tell them. Called Nana and Mimi and Aunt Robin.
So I have a quick question about that with the family. They told me, and they said this publicly as well, that you told them that you went to sleep at 11 o'clock.
I don't know where they got that from. I came probably the day after it happened, and I went to Danny's house and talked to them, and I told them exactly what I've told everyone. That's what happened.
So you didn't tell them that?
No.
Okay, and the other thing I want to clear up.
You're shaking your head, Robin.
Well, because he told Victor that and he told Deb that. That was the first story.
Done 11 o'clock.
And they weren't together. He told them separately. You know, they weren't. Victor wasn't at Deb's house with the rest of us. Victor was at his house. He told this separately.
Nana said that I changed my story like 5 times, and then I seen her again, and she said that she never said that, but I don't know. I think she's just going through a lot.
You're talking about Robin?
No, Nana's Deborah.
Oh, Deborah. Okay. I thought you said Robin. I didn't hear you say Nana. Deborah. Okay. Yeah, Deborah. Of course, she's very upset. We can imagine it's very upsetting for them because they don't know what happened. So it's not a hit and run. I mean, before we get to that, the shorts. Can you clear up some of that for everybody? What happened with the shorts?
So I got there.
What was he wearing when you got there to the scene?
He's wearing a shoe. That's it. Just one shoe. I got there, and the night before, when he took a shower, he didn't have no extra clothes there. So Carter got them. I had an extra pair of shorts there. They're my wrestling shorts, actually, from school.
So we're supposed to believe that You had an extra pair of shorts at a girl's house that you had only been dating for a couple of weeks and just had a pair of wrestling shorts at her house on standby? Right. That sounds super believable, you know. And so many inconsistencies just in what he says and depending on who's asking the question. And I've noticed with him being Jack, that depending on who the person is, like asking the questions and how hard they are on him based off like, you know, what they allow him to twist, he's gonna push that bitch as far as he can. If you don't press him or ask for, you know, or say, hey, wait a minute, you didn't say this last time or whatever, he's just gonna ride that wave and all the way through. And if you press him at all and say, wait a minute, well, this is, you didn't say this, or any type of questioning, like in a roundabout way, he starts to stutter. And then it becomes, I don't know. But if you don't make him feel like you're suspicious of him and you make him think that you're buying the shit he's saying, he will just talk himself right off the ledge and just talk himself right into a perjury charge. I mean, so I don't know, no. It's very much kind of bizarre that you're kind of whatever you are with Carter, and you're not getting the family treatment with the family attorney, and they haven't advised you or told you or even gave you advice and said that it would probably be smart if you shut the fuck up. Almost suspiciously not, you know, because if, you know, she loves you, your girly friend, I would not be letting you talk at all. And she's just not only letting you talk, but she's talking through you and allowing you to tell lies on her behalf, which is not only not a very girlfriendy thing to do, but it's very, very incriminating. And from where I'm standing, boo boo, baby, honey boo boo, Pookie, you are going to be the one there holding the smoking gun, and they are all going to say, "We didn't, we didn't want, we were just trying to protect Jack. We didn't know what else to do." Watch, and you are just walking right into it like a freaking quack, 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 just because you're in love or because you're thinking with your pee. But either way, them bitches are about to get you, and you gonna learn sooner rather than later. These hoes ain't loyal. And shame on you, Jack, because this is not the first time that you have thought with your peepee. And it's supposed to be bros before hoes, man. What? And you got to live with this for the rest of your life, no matter what you do or no matter where you go in life. You got to live with knowing what you did to Noah, regardless of how many years go by, regardless of how many girlfriends you have, regardless of how much you think you get away with. At the end of the day, you know what you did, and you have to live with that. You know what you did. And I'm not even talking about just pertaining to what happened to him and why he's not here. I'm talking about what you did to him before this and what y'all were fighting about to begin with. And if it doesn't eat you up every minute of every single day, you are a sick fuck and probably borderline a sociopath, kind of teeter the line of psychopath, because to have that lack of empathy is scary. But I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say you do have a soul somewhere deep in there, buried underneath all that testosterone and beer. It's eventually going to start eating you up. And I hope it sucks. Thank you so much.
And put those on. And then.
Why did he take a shower?
A lot of people did. Well, everyone that was on the machine, my friends did. It was just, they're all dirty from the wreck.
From the side-by-side, Carter was a witness.
Yeah, it's not. So we've heard a lot about the side-by-side wreck. I mean, do we know if there was a side-by-side wreck that no one was on?
Well, he was just about to ask. Let me ask the next question before we
go
on that.
Wake during that time?
Go back.
Yes. I think she's going through a lot.
You're talking about Robin?
No, Nana is Deborah.
Oh, Deborah. Okay. I thought you said Robin. I didn't hear her say Nana. Deborah. Okay. Yeah, Deborah. Of course, she's very upset. We can imagine it's very upsetting for them because they don't know what happened. So it's not a hit and run. I mean, after the. All right. Well, before we get to that, the shorts. Can you clear up some of that for everybody? What happened with the shorts?
So I got there.
What was he wearing when you got there to the scene?
He's wearing a shoe. That's it. Just one shoe. I got there, and the night before, when he took a shower, he didn't have no extra clothes there. So Carter got him. I had an extra pair of shorts there. They're my wrestling shorts, actually, from school, and put those on. And then.
Why did he take a shower?
A lot of people did. Well, everyone that was on the machine, my friends did. It was just, they're all dirty from the wreck.
From the side-by-side, Carter was awake during that time?
Yes.
They didn't video any side wreck?
Do what?
You know, they were filming a lot for social media all night, but nobody filmed the wreck?
No, So when I left that morning, when I was leaving, the cops made me leave my side-by-side there for examining. And then I was like almost to Warwick, and they called and said that I couldn't get it, but you could tell it was in a wreck. I mean, the plastics were all beat up on it and stuff on the side where they flipped it.
Well, now wait a second, because that's not what your daddy said, Jackie Poo. He said it was no scratches, no nothing, just a little dusty. Well, that's a little different. So, which is it? Was it dusty? Or were the plastics all tore up? Because we may have a conflict of interest here, because heaven forbid, Jack, are you going to come on and say that your dad's a liar? Or better yet, Caleb, are you going to come on and say that Jackie Poo is a liar? Because, and I quote, it can't fucking be both. Somebody's not following the script. Naughty, naughty, Jack, you're probably going to get a whooping for that. This is what happens when you go off script. You're not supposed to do that. Well. It's not the first time he's done that, and I promise you it won't be the last.
Do you still have it, that side-by-side?
I kept it for a while, and then I just traded it for a boat not too long ago.
Oh, okay, cool. What kind of boat did you get?
I got a 99 Bayliner Creek.
That's nice. All right, so when you got to the scene, Noah was wearing only one shoe?
Yes.
What kind of shoe?
A Hey Dude. His Hey Dude.
A Hey Dude.
Did he say his Hey Dude, or did he say Caden's Hey Dude? Anyways, I digress. Brian, or more like Jack Off. Dang, who's burning my line? BRB.
Dude shoot. And that was it, no clothes. Was there anything next to him?
I thought that there was blood right by him, but my dad said he can't ever seen that. But and his shorts were kind of in the middle of the road, a little bit north of him.
What color were they?
White and gray and red, mostly white with gray and red accents.
Were they dirty?
No. I put them on right after I got out of the shower.
Oh, okay. And then, so they were on the ground?
Yes.
Did you pick them up or anything?
So, at first there was cars driving back and forth, and there's already the sheriff, I think, was there already. But I grabbed and put him in the bed. I put him like kind of on my bedside, and the sheriff was like, "Throw those back, kind of where he found them." I said, "Okay," and he said, "We'll block off the road because they're about to get run over. Like people are driving by still." That's when they put that roadblock and made everybody go around the mile section.
Did he take the shorts out of the road, or did you?
I did. I put them on my bedside in my truck. Just set them up there.
Was any of Noah's? It's a horrible thing. I'm so sorry I have to ask this. His teeth. Was there any? Did you see any of his teeth on the ground?
Yeah, well, I didn't see them, but my dad actually is the one that's seen a tooth, or maybe it's two. I'm not sure. He's the one that's seen it and pointed it out to the cops.
Because your dad was there too.
Yes, my dad got there, I think, right after the sheriff did. I mean, it was.
Do you remember around what time, maybe?
Well, according to this version of Jack's story, he says that Carter got a pair of Jack's wrestling shorts that just so happened to be there because apparently someone that, according to also to this version of his story, he was only dating Carter for like 2 weeks. So apparently, you keep spare clothes at your new girlfriend's house, and she got him and gave him to Noah. But according to what Jackie Poo said too in this version of his fuckery, he said that Carter was asleep with him. So, do we have another conflict of interest, Jackie Poo? Damn it, I think Jam Sandwiches done got you again. Why'd you do that, Jam Sandwiches? He was doing good. I think he went a whole 11 seconds without being called out in a lie, and you just ruined it. Shame on you. Just kidding. On the shame on you part. But that is a good point, because let's just put all the other statements he's made in the back of our minds for a second, and let's just say, based off of what he said in this phone call right here, Carter was in bed with him, and they went to bed at 2. So how would she have been awake? Because according to him, the shower was after the wreck, and if he was asleep for the wreck, that would have to mean that Carter was asleep for the wreck. So how was Carter able to give him, being Noah, Jack's white shorts if she was in bed with Jack? Good catch, Jam Sandwiches. A++. Jackie Poo, hey, psst. This isn't looking too good for you, bud. I hope you got... I wouldn't even say bail money, because, I mean, it's only going to prolong it, but I just say I hope she's as loyal as you think she is, because you're going to be lonely in there. Well, probably not. You know what? You'll probably be fine, because you would just fit right up on someone's hip and just hold a pocket real nice. Jackie Poo. And all I can say is don't tense up, and I hope it hurts. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And PPS, Carter will be fucking one of your homeboys before you make it to booking. Because once again, these hoes ain't loyal. Sucks to suck.
I called him at 6, and probably about a 35-minute drive, something like that. So probably about 6:30, 6:45, somewhere around there.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about the shorts because we've been hearing so many different things of black shorts, the white shorts, the Cherokee, wrestling shorts. What I was in, I mean, we've talked to Dalen about it. We've seen the black shorts, never seen the other shorts. Where are those other shorts? I mean, we've heard that when he was there, he didn't have any clothes on. And then when, I believe then they said there was shorts on him. And then when Zach showed up, he said there were shorts on him. Or no, when Zach showed up, he was naked. So
Caden and one other person, and I'm not going to say who that person is, told us that there were two. Let me say that again. Caden and one other person told us that Noah was wearing shorts when they saw him.
Black shorts, not white.
Black shorts. Exactly.
Correct.
Black shorts.
Caden and one other person told us that Noah was wearing black shorts when they saw him that morning.
I have 11 notebooks. That is very true. And I have about 11 million sticky notes, and they are everywhere. Yeah, everywhere. And then I have digital notes, and then I have, what am I forgetting? Oh, my handy dandy notebook, my most favoritist. And that one is that's the good one because that's the one where I'm like, whenever it's real important and I'm like getting it as them come, like if I'm on a phone call or if I'm getting messages and I ain't got time for it to be pretty. So it's just all like, it looks like the freaking handy dandy notebook from Blue's Clues where it's just all scribbles and stuff except nothing. It just looks like that, except I'm not like drawing pictures. It's actually supposed to be like English words that are in the vocabulary of English speaking humans. But sometimes it's questionable and I have to go back and really, really focus to like, what the fuck does that say? And then I have to like decipher my own handwriting, and that's really fun. But then, y'all, fuck you, we're like, right? And all y'all that have a problem with how I say y'all, biatch. Any hoosers, had a moment. I take all of my notes from in there and then I rewrite them in one of my other notebooks, all more pretty and more gooder. And then I take them and I try to reorganize them and try to make them in like chronological order based off of when I received the information and how I received it. And then after that, I'll organize it again based off a person and then now you see how it turns into 11 notebooks because there's levels to the shit. And I don't throw nothing away after I change it. I just keep adding to it, which is how I got all these damn notebooks. Thank you so much. And thank you for tuning into this episode of how Kaylee got 70 million notebooks and why no one cares. Thank you so much.
On the roadside.
On the roadside.
Yeah, that's what we've been told by Caden and another person too.
Yep. Who were physically there. So I don't know have you ever seen these shorts that he's talking about? The Comanche ones, the wrestling shorts? Does OHB have them?
Not like since this incident, but like my kid.
Sharon gets tangled because everyone's related. That's so fucked up because it's true. Bazinga, that was a good one.
It even has those shorts.
No, I know. That's what I'm talking. I'm sure they're pretty prevalent in that area since the high school's there. You got a lot of athletes. But as far as those shorts from that, yes.
Not since before that night, because I've seen Jack wearing them before that, but they are in OHP custody, evidence, whatever.
Got it.
Did they tell you if there was anything on those shorts? Like, were they dirty? Were they?
No,
ripped?
they weren't dirty.
No,
were they ripped?
Yeah, because we saw the black shorts and they were ripped and they were tattered and there was actually a cigarette.
Okay, so for those of you that take notes like me, this is important to write down. So when fuck my life, when Rob and Cindy went to Oklahoma and visited and interviewed Caden, and then they met with Deborah, which is Noah's aunt or Noah's grandma, and then they went and met with Robin and Ashley, and then they went and met with Dalen. Okay, Dalen is Noah's brother. Okay, he's also the one who was given the black shorts that Noah was wearing the night of the party in all the videos, and what he was wearing on the highway when Caden and the other boys were on scene before the police and everyone arrived around 5:15, or not 5:15, but around 5:20, 5:25 ish. Okay, those black shorts. After being given to Dalen by Jack, who says his dad Caleb was given those and Noah's hat and Noah's American flag tank top by the detective, whoever that is. I don't know if it's OSBI or OHP. Regardless, it was some type of law enforcement, according to Jack. Now, I'm not saying this is credible at all because that kind of comes with me saying when I say said by Jack, it takes all credibility and just throws it out the window. Sorry, but not sorry. And I'm not even going to say allegedly because at this point you did that to yourself, boo boo. Now, back to this clusterfuck that I'm trying to help y'all keep up with and keep up with myself. Was given to Dalen. The black shorts were given to Dalen by Jack, who was given to them by Caleb, who was given to him by some twerp in law enforcement. That's probably what my brain's trying to say. And they were dirty, okay, when Dalen received them. So not thinking, or I don't know how it was necessarily came about, but the way that I understand it from what was said is that Dalen's wife washed them because they were dirty or whatever, and I don't know if she necessarily didn't know what they were to begin with and just seen they were dirty and needed to be washed, or if I don't know, but they got washed, and after they have been washed now, because they've still been in Dalen's possession since then, the police have never came and asked for them, wanted them, so they've never been forensically examined. And I have spoke with Cindy, okay, to clarify on this because they touch on it a little bit in the podcast. That's why I'm pausing right here and going a little bit further into it beforehand. That way, when you hear this, you'll have this in your mind to think about. Okay, so they didn't touch them. Dalen had on, Dalen handled them or whatever, but they did look at them, and even after being washed, these shorts of Noah's were very much so visibly tattered. The way that it was described is like tattered. There was clearly damage to them, not from just, normal wear and tear. There was clear damage to them, and there was a burn hole that to them, in their opinion, them being Cindy and Rob, looked like a cigarette burn. Okay? Nobody at the party that I'm aware of smokes. They all vape or drink. I don't know of anyone smoking. The only thing that I know of that has been kind of speculated as a possibility is that because Noah's grandma and great grandma, which he both lived in the home with, are both smokers, and they do his laundry. Maybe that they were like, I guess, smoking and folding laundry, maybe, and that and I guess, but I don't know that I believe that even being a possibility because I just don't see that. I don't know. I choose not to believe that makes sense to me, but it's possible. However, it is something that you're going to hear Robin say that maybe that's how it got there. But I also want, if you look in the videos where you can see those shorts very well from the party, I've zoomed in and looked, and I don't see any cigarette, and because they stand out like a sore thumb, especially in black shorts, because and I cannot see from my examination of the footage any burn holes in his shorts while he's wearing them. So I don't, and I could just be not seeing it. However, I just wanted to say this before they say what they're going to say, because they're kind of vague when they talk about it. And I wanted to know, like, okay, well, were they still dirty? Like, how were they, who washed them and all that? And that's where I got all those details about who washed them. And it wasn't anything nefarious. It was just, they shouldn't have been given them to begin with, and much less, to not know what to do with them. And I still believe, even after them being washed and all this time went by, if there still could be stuff that could be beneficial to an investigation, as far as forensics wise, if the damn lazy ass OHP or OHBI would get off their asses and go get them. But the fact that there's damage to them and there's nothing on these white shorts that he supposedly was wearing when it happened tells you hands down, unequivocally, in my opinion, allegedly, he wasn't wearing them fucking white shorts when whatever happened to him. It was them gosh darn black shorts. And that's why Jack got him out of his possession and didn't want him in OHP or whoever was investigating this possession, and did the thing to make it look like, oh, you should have these because it was the last thing Noah was wearing type deal. Well, no, your shorts were. Oh, but that's right. You gave those to OHP as a, I don't even know, because he tried to take those back too. But Jeremy Wilson, the lovely sheriff, and when I say lovely, I mean piece of shit, told him to take him out of the bed of his truck and put him back. So he threw him back in the middle of the road. And then someone after that, someone being Jeremy, folded them and put them next to him neatly. So they were handled several times and by several scroungy fucks in this investigation before they were, forensically analyzed. So as far as being admissible in court, oh, well, now we have documentable statements saying this person handled it, this person handled it. So now they have a reason for their fingerprints to be on it, and it's no longer admissible as any kind of evidence for a trial. Funny how that works, doesn't it? Almost everything in this case that could be admissible for evidence has been tainted thanks to these scroungy fucks. It's almost like that's what they were seeking out to do. I said what I said. Allegedly. Oh, 1 second before I push play. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the Cash App, Roddy Parade. I get to have Hello Kitty gel pens and notebooks. Booyah, suckers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Burn hole in one of the legs.
Were they?
No,
ripped?
they weren't dirty.
Right.
No,
Were they
ripped.
ripped?
Yeah, because we saw the black shorts and they were ripped and they were tattered, and there was actually a cigarette burn hole in one of the legs. And Noah didn't smoke, correct?
No, it didn't smoke.
Did Jack smoke?
Not that I'm aware of. He I believe, dipped every now and again, but yeah, no smoking.
Yeah. And based upon some of the movies and the videos that were posted online, I've seen people drinking, but I didn't see anybody smoking. But I could be wrong.
Kids don't smoke these days. Like,
Yeah.
it's not.
They vape.
It's
Yeah.
not like when we were all growing up. They all vape, and so
So I thought that was interesting that there was it may not be a cigarette burn hole, but it looked like
a cigarette burn hole.
and it was probably about the size of the top of my
Well,
feet.
and it could have very well been a cigarette burn hole because Nana and Grandma both smoke, and they did Noah's laundry, so it could have.
There you go. That could have happened too, very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from what you know, those Comanche wrestling shorts are in possession. The OHP has those as evidence.
Yes, as far as I know, they have them as evidence.
Yeah. And as far as what we've been told from people at the scene that saw it, Caden, as well as another young man that was with him, said he was wearing black shorts. Okay. And then when OHP showed up at, I believe, just after 7, don't know the exact time, that he was naked. So at one point when he was there, when Jack got there, he wasn't wearing any shorts. The shorts were in the middle of the road, the wrestling shorts. He picked them up. He put them in his bed. Then I think he tells us later that he picked them up and then was told to put them not to the roadside, but he put them next to the body. And we know there was a set of shorts that was folded up next to the body when OHP got there. Whether or not they were the wrestling shorts or the black shorts, I think we still have to kind of confirm that. Do you know anything about that?
It was the white wrestling shorts.
It was the white wrestling shorts. Okay. And then there was no sign of the black shorts.
No sign of the black shorts.
And then Jack eventually gave those black shorts to Dalen, correct? Did he hand it? It was he was the person who handed it over to Dalen.
I'm sorry. My internet connection is not doing very good. You just
Okay.
cut out. Do what?
Okay. I said the black shorts that Dalen has, he told us that Jack gave him those shorts.
Yes.
Okay.
And Jack had told us that too.
Exactly.
That his dad was. He told us that his dad was given Noah's American flag shirt, his black shorts, all of that stuff by the cops, is what he told us. And that they gave the shorts to Dalen, and they passed out like the shirt and his hat and for other friends for mementos of Noah.
So they did get back his hat as well.
I'm sorry, you're cutting out.
Did they get back his hat as well? The hat?
I can't.
No.
Ashley?
No.
My connection.
This is a monster who did this.
I love you.
So I just want to find out who killed my kid.
Okay, we'll wait for her to come back. But Ashley, tell us that whether or not, the hat was recovered as well. I mean, also was missing, it was his wallet, correct?
Right.
Can you hear us now, Robin?
Yes.
Okay, so we were talking about the other articles that were missing from Noah. His hat, was that recovered? And his wallet, was that recovered?
We've never seen him. We have not gotten him back. His hat, his wallet, his shirt, his other shoe. We have not gotten any of that back.
Do you know if law enforcement has it, or is it, because we've been told stories about his hat, and I don't know whether or not it's true or not, because we don't know what OHP has in possession. We know, based upon what you've told us, that it was those wrestling shorts, those white wrestling shorts that had the Comanche logo on there, and that the black shorts were given to him, like, so by Jack, and Jack's father had his, flag shirt, tank top, and you don't know whether or not the hat was involved in that exchange as well.
I believe it was, according to what Jack had told us. I mean, I don't know, like, I wasn't there. I can't verify what I was told.
Yeah.
But we were told that they had the hat, the shirt, and shorts, and that they passed them out for mementos.
Who, the OHP did, or did?
No, Caleb and Jack.
Oh, okay. So before they got to the family.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. That's kind of weird.
And like Dalen, they gave Dalen the black shorts, but that's the only article of clothing or article that Noah had with him that has come back to the family. Nobody has offered up the shirt to us.
That's interesting, Hummingbird. So I'm assuming that the side by side would have an exhaust pipe as well, correct? I wonder, just out of pure curiosity, if the diameter of that exhaust pipe would be the same size and shape maybe of said injury, and would also explain why there may or may not be a burn hole in the shorts. That's interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I'm going to push play on this video, but I'm writing this down actively, and it is going to be something that is on my list to now look into. So thank you for that, because my spidey senses are going bing-a-ling-a-ling-ling. Yeah.
Whoever's got it, nobody's offered up his hat. His wallet's still missing. His other shoe that he couldn't find when he was looking for his shoes. We have no clue where any of that stuff is. Nobody's
And
ever offered it to us.
And OHP doesn't have that. They just have the shorts.
As far as I know, no.
Okay. Well, we can confirm that. Interesting.
Okay. And then, well, did Noah have a sheet on him? He didn't have a sheet on him when you got there.
No, he didn't have nothing on him or nothing. They caught front there. I got there. They'd already called him, but they weren't there yet.
And then Jeremy Wilson, was he the first cop to show up?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jeremy. Is it Jeremy Williams or Jeremy Wilson? Jeremy
Wilson.
JW. Yeah, Jeremy Wilson. Okay. He was the first cop to show up, the first officer to show up?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
And did he talk to you?
Yeah.
He's
the first one that said it was a hit and run.
Yeah.
Robin has it.
You have something you want?
Jimmy was the first one to show up, not Jeremy. Jeremy didn't get there until about 30, 40 minutes after Jimmy did.
The undersheriff Jimmy showed up first.
Okay, what's his last name again?
William.
Williams. Okay, so Jimmy Williams and Jeremy Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they call
your dad must have been.
Wait, they call Jeremy Wilson JW, right?
Yeah, JW.
Okay.
Been pretty broken up because he knew Noah too.
Yeah. Yep.
So when the medical report came out and you found out that it was a blunt force injury and not a hit and run, what did you think about that?
Well, they told me that just because of the blunt force injury, that does not mean it wasn't a hit and run. But I don't know.
Did you go to Noah's funeral?
Yes.
What was the funeral like?
Lots of people.
And it also doesn't necessarily mean that it happened that night. So it's still relevant. And Puff wasn't saying it like, and neither was Catfish saying that, like, oh, that was, that's a bad thought or a bad idea. Because that's not how they roll. Everything is, there's no such thing as anything that's bad or dumb or not possible. We're all just kind of bouncing off each other here. So don't be afraid or shy, to share your ideas. And please don't think that because you have something that people, myself included, don't agree with, that you're not welcome to share ideas here, because that's definitely not the case. I take everything into account and add it to my notes. And if it factors into my theory or something, then it does. And even if it don't, I still write it down and take it into consideration. And also, just because the accident didn't happen that night doesn't mean that the burn or whatever, this is speculation and theory, hypothetically saying if what we're speculating about did happen and there was some type of burn, it could have happened the night before, could have happened earlier in the day. And I still think it's something to talk about because it's a part of the story, and that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of, because there's lots of stuff that has just simply been left out. And it's up to us, clearly, because the investigators are not publicly giving us anything, and the people who were there are damn sure not giving us anything. So it's up to us to try to put the pieces together and figure out where they fit and at what time. And if it happened at all that weekend, it is very much so relevant to me. And please, by all means, put it in the chat and lay it on me, because I love it. I take it all in. Yum, 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 muy delicioso. Sorry. Anyways, but yeah, don't ever think that your people are, being mean or, and don't want to hear your ideas, because that's not the case, especially with Puff and Catfish. They are probably the most respectful and open-minded people in this chat. I mean, we got a room full of them, but them two specifically, like, I know people are, it's kind of hard to pick up on tones and stuff when we're in chat, but those two, you're never going to catch them being nasty like that. You just won't. Not here anyway. You know, then maybe somewhere else. I'm just kidding. They're nice everywhere. Beth is not here, but she could answer a lot of my questions. So if you see Beth, tell her I'm paging her. If not, I'll ask her when I see her again. I just have a lot of you know, detective or type investigative type questions, like protocols and stuff like that. So if y'all see her, tell her to get her out. I'm just kidding. Tell her I need her.
It's terrible. I'm sorry. So they're still telling you, the police were still telling you that it was a hit and run after the medical report came out?
They're not saying what it is. They're just saying that they haven't ruled any of it out.
I see. I mean, Robin told me that you said that you were asleep at 11 o'clock that night. Is she mistaken?
Oh, not only did he go to the funeral, he was one of the pallbearers. Like him and his dad both were. They carried his casket. So for him to be that calm and collected and not a hot mess and to hear any kind of breakage or you know, to hear any kind of cracking or any kind of emotion at all in his voice is fucking bizarre and cold-hearted. Okay, let me just say that. And also, just a little side thought, that statement that Roddy made, I happen to have been this is one of my Meemaw's list of, oh, she's the smartest dumbass I've ever met stories. So okay. I was riding on the back of a motorcycle when I was a teenager, probably 17, 18-ish. And when I got off of it, I got off on the wrong side. And boy, did I learn the hard way about how true of a statement that is that Roddy Parade made. Because boy, when I tell you, all I heard was, and oh boy, I could feel it. I can smell it still right now. And when I tell you that is the most painful, most disgusting, most awful blister that I've ever had in my entire life. Oh my Lanta. And it took forever to heal because where it was on my calf, like right on the inside of my calf, it's like everything hit it and rubbed it raw and it just kept busting it back up. It was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. However, I say that with that being said, instantaneously, like right after it happened, I mean, right after it happened, when I went in the house and my Mimo started doctoring me up, it started turning into what would be considered healing because it bubbled up and festered up and immediately. So I say that with, you're welcome, because I hope you visualize that because that was real life story. And it hurt so bad. But you want to know what I will never do again? I will never get off a motorcycle on the wrong side. I tell you that. Oh boy. And then whenever my Mimo said, well, what the hell? Why'd you do that? And she's like, did you see the muffler? I said, oh, I seen it. She said, well, why'd you get off that way? I said, I didn't know it was hot. And she just shook her head at me and said, sometimes I worry about you.
Yes, I don't know. At first I said 1:30. So I went to sleep around 1:30. But then there was right before I went to sleep, there was a picture of me and Noah taken at like 1:50 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And one day after that.
Was he talking about this picture that was taken? Do you understand what he was saying there?
It was cutting out for me. Ashley, do you know what?
Yeah, he basically said that initially he said, because Cindy said that you told Robin that it was 11 o'clock. And then he said, well, I initially then I said I thought it was 1:30. And then I saw a picture of me and Noah at like 1:50.
1:50.
At 1:50. So that's when he figured out.
That's got to be the picture of him and Noah in the bathroom, probably.
Yes. That was at 1:50. So that would mean that, he wasn't asleep at 11 o'clock or 1:30.
Yeah.
He could be asleep at 2 o'clock after that. But, 1:50 to 2 o'clock. What do you think, Ashley? You're speechless.
Yeah.
Okay, let's listen more then.
Do you think that, what about Caden? He said that you came in at 5:15 and told everybody that.
I don't know. I can't really explain any of that. I don't know. I've talked to him about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he just says that's what he remembers.
Okay.
He's said some crazy stuff.
Like what? I want you to refute what you think is not true. I want you to have a moment to say that, everybody gets to say their piece.
Most everything that Caden's saying is not true at all.
Which part?
About the times and just, I don't know. I don't get on Facebook and look at all the time.
No.
I just heard.
The thing about that, he's basically saying everything that Caden's saying is not true.
Yeah. I mean, Caden's story has not changed at all. It has been very consistent from the first time he told Ashley to, today. The same story that he told you guys, the same story he posted on Facebook, but, the same story he told Dalen. He has been very consistent.
Yeah. And law enforcement. He's talked to them twice.
Yeah, and law enforcement. Yeah.
And his phone stuff.
And it's not like we're taking it third person either, because he recorded all his conversations, so we heard what he said to the police.
And his phone records are lining up with what he said also.
Yeah.
That's why it's confusing.
His phone records are lining up.
And
I don't understand why, when you're directly asking someone, what is it specifically that he's lying about, and you can't come up with a damn thing?
Yeah, he just makes a general
if
statement.
I'm so adamant about how I feel about somebody, then I'm going to call them out. I'm going to be like, this exactly, or this right here. But whatever.
Yeah, he just makes a general statement that everything he's saying is not true. So.
It's awful.
About him saying the times are all different.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, so I didn't walk in and just say, I didn't walk in the house and just said, just know it was dead or whatever. I was walking through there and I was going to Carter. I didn't really know what to do. And Avery was right there. She actually was asleep on the couch. I don't even know. She was right there. And she see that I was crying. And she was like, what's wrong? And I said, Noah's gone. Like kind of quietly. No one really heard it. I walked in there, and when I came back out of the room, everyone was up and everyone knew what happened.
Ashley, you're shaking your head.
You're shaking your head, Ashley. What's going on?
I swear, this. Okay, so he's talking about, oh, I didn't come in there and I didn't wake everybody up and I didn't say, oh, Noah's dead or whatever. I would believe that more than how he just explained how it exactly went down. So Avery's already crying and you're asking her what is wrong. What do you mean? Like, what is wrong? So obviously somebody knew something before something was said, if we're going to go that based onto his story. But if Caden is saying that he came in and he was like, Noah is dead, I have to believe that more because it seems like there's more passion behind it. Like you just saw some stuff that you can't unsee. That makes more sense to me. But then you like, oh, I went in there and I went to Carter and whoop-de-whoop, whatever.
I mean,
if I saw something, I'm gonna have a little bit more passion behind that, rather than just let me go find my girlfriend and go see about how I need to do this. I would give it 2 shits. I'd be like, look, y'all, this is exactly what happened, just how Caden explained it, rather than nonchalant, like, let me go see if I can get approval for this. Whatever.
Yeah, what I thought was interesting, he said
Well,
Avery
also,
was.
in the beginning of this tape, he says that he walks in and told everybody that Noah was dead. And so, like in the beginning of this tape we're listening to, and now he's saying he didn't do that.
He's saying that he went to go and talk to Carter or whatever, and
yeah, but at the beginning of this tape, he said he walked in and told everybody, and now he's saying, no, I just went into Carter's room and said it quietly that he was gone. And
I think he gives another version of this.
You guys trying to cut out, so I could be wrong.
That's okay. No, you're right. You're right. That's exactly what he said. And he actually gives another version of what happened too, after this, if I'm correct. But what I thought was interesting is he said that he walked in there and he said Avery was asleep on the couch or on the couch. I don't know if he was asleep on the couch or on the couch. And when Caden described where people were sleeping in the living room area, he kind of pinpointed where everybody was on the chair, the couch, and Avery wasn't in that area unless there's another couch in a bedroom that she was asleep on. But we already know that, she was more than likely in bed because Noah wanted to sleep in her bed. So why would she be asleep on the couch? So it's like, that's another little piece of, and maybe he's just kind of blacking out and blurring. And I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that the PTSD that maybe he had suffered from seeing his best friend dead on a hike. There's got to be trauma there. And, we all try to recreate things, traumatic experience, and we miss some things. So I'm hoping that's the case. So let's see what he says.
It's horrible. I'm sorry. It's a horrible thing.
The cops already confirmed all my times because they have all my phone records. They've seen where my phone was at what time and seen when I called my dad, I text my dad.
Mm-hmm. They did a geofencing on your phone?
Yeah, they did to everyone's phone.
They did. They took everyone's phones.
Yeah, like I said, that day in Comanche, everyone that was there that morning turned their phones. They gave all their phones to the cops.
Are you still living in that town, or did you move?
Moved.
You moved.
Mark, the party house was a mile away, which is where Avery and Carter lived and still live. But actually, Noah lived about 47 miles away in Comanche, or Duncan, I'm sorry. So, and he was actively trying to get a ride home from about 10 p.m. the night before, but was not given one because most of the people that he asked were intoxicated and wouldn't drive him. But he wanted to go home, and home is definitely not a mile away. If home was a mile away, I'm quite certain he would have went home way before any of this could have fell into play, because that's not that far at all. He could have jogged that in less than 30 minutes. better yet, or just called his grandma if it was only a mile away. However, that is not the case. It was about 47 miles away, 43 or 47. I have to look on my maps again, but regardless, it's about 50 minutes away where he lived with his grandma in Duncan. You're good.
I understand that. How has this been for you? I mean, it must be, as your best friend. I mean, how are you coping with all this?
Staying busy. Work a lot.
Do you miss Noah?
Yeah.
How do you think his family? I'm sorry?
Go from every day to multiple years to nothing. Sucks pretty bad.
There's been so much nonsense on the social media. I think one of the biggest things we realize is that I think, you know, everyone in the family has always said nice things about you and how close you guys were, but there's a lot of like ugly talk on the internet, and I don't understand. They don't understand why, and they feel like they don't know why people aren't trying to help more to find out what happened. Do you know what can you say to that or to them or something? I don't know. Just trying to heal this process.
I don't know. Well, I mean, when something happens like this, everyone and their moms thinks they know or whatever. I mean, having an opinion of what happened or whatever, that don't hurt nothing. But there's been a lot of crazy stuff said. I don't know. Can't explain any of it. I don't know why somebody would do that.
No, but I mean, just like trying to help them find out what happened.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I don't know. How can you help them find out what happened?
I mean,
I'm just trying to figure out how they can get some closure here. This is a horrible situation for them. They're suffering bad.
Yeah, I know. But I've done every single thing the cops have told me.
Yeah, no, I understand. No, I understand that. I'm just trying to think like what else can be done.
I mean, everyone's got to work to get it out there everywhere. I think whoever knows something about it's right here. You're out here in Duncan or someone else just driving through there, lives in the surrounding area. I don't know, somewhere close.
What do you think happened to Noah?
Honestly, I think that somebody was driving by and Noah was the kind of guy that would wait somebody out and ask him for a ride. He didn't know a stranger really. But I think maybe he was on the hood of a car or a bed of a truck or something. Maybe fell off, or I don't know.
I'll be coming right behind you guys. There's about 20 minutes left in this interview, and then we're going to wrap it up, and we'll pick back up probably tomorrow. And then, but I will see you guys over at Twin Mamas in about 20 minutes. I will be right behind you guys.
I thought that would happen, and just figured better leave it up to the professionals. I don't know.
Would Noah wave down a strange car in the middle of the night to take him somewhere? Would he do something like that?
I don't think so.
I mean,
A strange part, like at this time in the
Noah
morning.
was friendly, but he wasn't an idiot, you know?
Yeah, he wouldn't get in a stranger's car.
Yeah. I mean, he was super friendly, but yeah, he wasn't an idiot. So.
Yeah, he seemed like he had situational awareness. I mean, he knows a threat when he sees it, and that doesn't seem like something. I don't think anybody in this age would just at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning wave down a car on a roadside. You know, that's.
Yeah, no, I understand. One last question. So did Noah have golf clubs at the party?
So he had golf clubs in his truck, but then when he took his truck home, the golf clubs went home with him. So no, not something.
Say, what are you gonna say? Could you hear it?
No, they did not. Those golf clubs did not. I've got his truck in my driveway. We have searched that truck. They never made it in the house. Those golf clubs did not come back.
Yeah. Yeah. So after Saturday, they did not come back with his truck. So after Saturday, can you hear me?
You're cutting out again.
Okay.
No.
I was going to say, so Ashley, Robin just said that she searched Noah's truck. Those golf clubs did not come back home.
Correct.
So Noah did not bring them back home on Saturday night?
No.
Or Saturday?
No.
Oh, and one last thing. They've never been recovered, correct?
No.
So the golf clubs disappeared, as well as we're not sure about his hat or wallet as well.
Right.
Was anyone using the golf clubs at the party?
I think that I think there was a golf club, but it wasn't one of those. It was out of, I think it might have been out of the bed of my truck, or somebody just had a random golf club in the bed of their truck, and I think it was out. I'm not sure.
Because Caden said that he saw golf clubs at your house. Is that true? In the scrap pile?
So I heard that he told everybody that one day I was scrapping and he seen scrap golf clubs at the scrap. I don't know. And there's golf clubs everywhere. My dad golfs and whatnot, but I doubt there'd be a set of golf clubs in the scrap pile.
Stop for a second. Someone else told us that they saw them as well. Caden, and there was someone else
with Caden
who told us when we were in Oklahoma that he saw those golf clubs as well. I'm not going to reveal who that is right now until he decides to talk.
Yeah.
But he said that he saw them.
There. And one of them was damaged. So, interesting. So I'm almost done here.
So, no, he didn't see one of my trailers. I mean, golf clubs don't weigh nothing. There's no point taking to the scrap yard. So stuff like that, just like every single thing that Caden has said is just untrue. And I don't know. And the other day when we were talking, he was kind of cheering up, and I don't know what's going on with him. I've known Caden for a long time, been close for a long time.
Did you talk to him recently?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
He was just saying sorry a lot. Really.
He was saying he was sorry to you?
Yeah.
For what?
I don't know. I don't know. It was just weird. He's like, sorry, this is all happening. Hopefully, when it's over, we can go back to hanging out all the time. It's weird. He's acting not like himself.
Are you still hanging out with the other guys, Brylan and Mikey and Isaac and them?
Yeah.
Do you guys all still hang out?
We don't hang out like we used to.
Mm-hmm.
Travel for work and whatnot, but yeah, we're still friends.
Are you still dating Carter?
So we split up for a little bit, but now we're not. We're back together.
Now you're back together?
Yes.
Okay. Are you still engaged or no? Sorry, that was the personal questions. You think so?
Yeah.
Did Noah have a girlfriend like that he thought he would marry?
I mean, he had a few that thought they'd marry him.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Are you surprised to see him on the cover of People magazine like this?
I mean, it's good. It's good it's getting out there and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it sucks. Seeing there and not here, you know?
His girlfriend, Phelan, what was that all about? Was he serious with her or?
No.
Yes, that's so just so our viewers, Robin's internet's been copping out and crapping out for her, so she's been coming back and forth. So you see her disappear and reappear. That's what's happening. And then, so what do you think about all this? I mean, obviously you've spoken to Jack numerous times. You still speak to him. What'd you think about what he had to say, both of you?
I mean, some of it's bull, but, you know, according to him, he was asleep and it was relayed to him by other people. You know, he didn't mention the fact that Avery and Carter were on the front porch fighting about Noah. You know, there's video of that.
And you've seen that video? You've seen that video?
I haven't seen it. I was told about it by OHP.
Got it.
And I'm just going to have to trust that OHP is telling me the truth when it comes to, you know, there being this video existing. But he may not have been told about it, you know?
Well, that's the thing. It seems like most of his information is coming from someone else. Like he wasn't witness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because, you know, Caden doesn't remember an ATV accident. In fact, you know, some people were saying that Caden was the one who flipped the ATV over, and he had like that.
I saw that.
Which is ridiculous because the kid just came off an ACL injury and he couldn't even put weight on that leg.
What did they tell you guys about the ATV? Did they say that it was in an accident or that it had anything on it that looked like it was in an accident?
They said that they inspected it. They didn't find any evidence of it being like a serious accident or anything, that it was perfectly fine. And so they released it to the Newtons.
Yeah. Yeah. How about the timeline on when he got rid of it? I mean, because we've been told he got rid of it pretty quick. And then he said it was like a while later where he traded it for a boat. I think someone even sent us a screenshot about it too.
Yeah. I know when Caleb had gotten on and posted on Facebook, he had talked about how Jack had traded it for a boat. I'm not exactly sure. Do you remember when that was, Ashley? But I'm not exactly sure when it was actually traded. But I know Caleb had talked about it months ago.
Yeah. Ashley, overall viewpoints on what you heard today? Anything new? Anything interesting? Anything that kind of takes you a pause?
Man.
I know.
I feel like he was scrambling to find an answer to these questions. If you knew something naturally, it's easy to say. Whenever you asked about, like, did anybody at the party want to hurt Noah, there was an immediate answer of nope. But it's like everything else was like, I gotta think about it. So
yeah, it seemed like he was groping for answers on some of these questions. You know, and I would imagine as many times that he's told his story so far, both to people of the press, People Magazine, law enforcement.
Work directly with T. Rowe Price, and together, we can find the right investments to help her potential bloom. That's the power of curiosity.
You would think you would have a better understanding, and you'd be a lot quicker with these answers. You know,
Or
because
at
we
least
didn't.
have some notes next to you so you could be like, okay, I said this last time. I'm going to be consistent here.
Yeah. I mean, because when we interviewed Caden, he didn't have any notes, anything. And like I said, we heard him twice on recorded phone calls with people with his story. Then before we had him on the podcast, we talked to him for almost 2 hours, basically grilling him about his story. And then like 4 days later, we had him on the podcast, and they mirror what he said prior.
And after this, I did ask Caden, had he called Jack or reached out to him, and he sent me his phone records. Was not reaching out to Jack multiple times. He did say that he did say to Jack something to the effect of, you know, after this is over with and you're cleared of anything, you know, maybe we can hang out or whatever, or something.
Be friends again.
Something to that effect. Either way, it's hearsay. It's irrelevant. But just to be clear, Caden's story didn't change, and we do have stuff to back it up. This is the first real conversation.
Caden's story is that Caden and his mom have been so willing to give. You know, they're not putting it all out on Facebook because honestly, it's not Facebook's business. But they have been so willing to give anything that they can to OHP and to us to show, like, hey, this is what we know, and we're not lying. We're not making this up. Here's our timeline via phone records and Life 360 and Apple Maps, and you know, they have been very willing to supply everything that they can to show that, you know, hey, this is what we know.
Yeah, and then independent of Jasmine's meeting with your family, other than that, no other person has been that, foregoing for giving information to you guys.
Not to me and Ashley.
Or Dalen, right?
Yeah, I mean, Dalen's talked to quite a few people, but yeah, it's not super detailed or anything from what I understand. So
Yeah. Interesting. You know, and Dalen, you know, he's still, I mean, he teaches in that school system down there. And, you know, I would think that it's got to be hard for him to kind of, you know, they're all older, they're all graduated now, but I'm sure that this story is going to have reverberations through that community for a long time. And it's going to sit with people. And so,
We could see how hard it is on him and his wife. They're having a hard time. It's awful.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you guys listening to that. I'm sure it wasn't easy. I mean, I know you have, Robin, you have a personal relationship with Jack. You've known him forever. You know, he spent a lot of time with you, Noah, and the family. And so it's got to be difficult to have someone that close to you and still not really feel confident you're getting the whole story. Is that how you feel?
yeah, because you know, he keeps saying that he was asleep, and so we're just getting hearsay from him for the most part. And you know, Renee had told us whenever Jasmine and her came and talked to us that Avery and Carter would be more than willing to come talk to us and tell us their side of the story. Yet they had never, and at this point, I'm not expecting them to, because obviously their family's a little crazy. But you know, they never actually reached out. They never offered. They never nothing. You know, we were told they were more than willing, but nothing from their side other than victim shaming online and trash talk on our family online, and you know, so
Victim shaming on Noah, which I think is horrifying.
Yeah.
That you're going to try to blame Noah for his own death?
Yeah. and the lies that have been put out there. It's just, to me, it's just insane. I can't say it enough. It's insane. Like, who does that? A kid ends up dead after being on your family's property, and you are going to go and just talk shit about him and his family, and it's just insane to me. But it is what it is. It just shows what kind of people they are.
I can see why they're not talking to you guys individually at this point, because they lawyered up and legally. But to kind of just take it a step further and then just start online victim shaming, that's I don't know what that gets you. I mean, what does that get you? I mean, it's like
trying to put out a different narrative to take the heat off of them.
Yeah. The thing that really gives me pause too is that they, and I remember, when we talked to Deborah, Nana, about this, the thing that really triggered her is the fact that they all went back to sleep after they found out Noah was dead. And maybe that's true, maybe it's not true, but also the fact that they had a party the next weekend at that same house. She just, I mean, with the look on her face when she told us that, it crushed her. It was like, because that's really what they told her, what they thought about Noah. If they could just do those two things when you find a friend. I mean, I don't know. Even if I didn't know, if I was at a party and I didn't even know Noah and something like that happened, it's pretty tragic. It would be pretty shocking. All right, ladies, listen, thank you so much for your time, and just we'll keep on fighting the fight here, and I know you guys are fighting it, and then we'll hopefully get some justice for Noah soon.
If you're not making Come on. Yeah, Shady. Come on, Shady. Ah! Damn.
This rate, I will fucking. Dude, I'll just beat them. I always thought that would get me.
I'm asking you. I would just rather you know.
No, you saw me. I just thought you trust me.
No.
I do trust you. It's just, I trust Timmy. I trust Timmy. I trust him. Hit me soon. Go ahead. Obviously, I wasn't good. Oh. Which one?
Yeah, hand
We got
it.
it. You see my wiener? Country Pimp. One-on-one. Mike Tyson.
911, what is your emergency?
Hey, on Highway 81, just north of Terrell, in between Terrell and Ryan, Oklahoma, it's probably about 3 miles north of Terrell. Driving down the road, and I had a bunch of cars behind me, but it looked like somebody got hit, like somebody walking down the highway laying on the shoulder of the road.
It looks like somebody's laying in the road?
Like on the shoulder, like maybe they were walking and somebody hit them, unless it was a deer. It looked like a body.
Okay. You said, so on Highway 81,
In between Ryan and Terrell, just north of Terrell, it's probably about 3 miles, kind of in a low spot.
okay. And is that, gonna be, I'm trying to think which way that highway runs. Is it gonna be on your east, west, north, or south? I'm trying to think, I'm sorry.
It goes north and south. It runs out of Duncan.
Okay, so what side of the road is that on?
It'd be on the west side of the road.
Okay, let me see who I have on duty to go check that out.
That's it. It looked awful odd.
Okay. What is your name and number, so if the officer has any questions?
It's Tyler, 580.
I will get a hold of the officer and go get it checked out.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day. 911, what is your emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I was driving to work. I'm south of Terrell, or north of Terrell, south of Ryan.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there's somebody laying dead along the road. They look naked. I'm staying back.
Okay, I just had 2 calls on that, and I have a deputy headed that way.
All right. Well, I'm
And
sitting here blocking the road.
Oh, are you there waiting? Okay.
Because he's the body's laying right on a white line.
Oh, dang. It is a boy. He's naked, and he's laying on the white line. He's naked.
I turned around because I just about hit it because there's a deer run across the road, and I'm like, first I thought it was a deer, and I was talking to a guy I work with. I'm like, I don't think that's a deer.
Yeah, that's what my first caller said. Thought it was a deer, and then when he looked back and he said, "No, there's no way that's a deer."
No, and it actually looks like there's a piece of clothing maybe laying in the middle of the road. Now, I don't want to get too close. I just.
Jeremy, right now. No, this is another 911 call that's looking at it.
Oh, she's already been in touch with Jeremy.
Okay. Yeah, Jeremy's going to head that way.
Jeremy's heading that way. She's on the
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So you're staying there, or?
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and make sure nobody runs it over or anything else. I mean,
I have a art reporting party staying there until a deputy gets there to block so nobody hits them again.
There is a reporting party is going to sit there with flashers on until...
Okay, I appreciate it. Can I get your name and,
you got...
Well, you're going to
my
be there.
name's...
Okay.
Yeah, my name...
Okay, are you the one I just talked to?
No.
Oh, okay, because I had another Tyler call me, too. Okay.
Oh.
What is your phone number?
It's, well, let me remember my, 580. I'm on my work phone, but I don't ever remember that number. That's my personal phone number I just gave you.
Okay, no, that's fine. Just for my logs of all the 911 calls I'm getting on it. But I do have the sheriff headed there and an undersheriff headed there, too.
All right.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
911, what's your emergency?
The United States
journey. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more content.
This video delves into the mysterious and tragic events of a weekend party that abruptly ended on September 4th, Labor Day, just 10 months ago. Our journey will unravel the key interactions and their fateful consequences leading up to that night. Together, we'll seek to understand what truly happened and uncover lessons from this heartbreaking incident. That weekend stands as a haunting reminder of the importance of responsibility and awareness, and the dire outcomes that can arise from their absence. By meticulously examining the events, we aim to illuminate the critical need for proactive measures to prevent such tragedies in the future. The events of that weekend left an indelible mark on everyone involved, a chilling reminder of life's fragility and the profound importance of making responsible choices. Sunday morning dawned after a night of revelry at the party house. The atmosphere was languid, the remnants of the previous night's festivities still lingering in the air. Some members of the group decided to venture out for more beer, leaving a few, including Caden, at the house. The remaining group relaxed, their conversations casual and lighthearted. They were young, seemingly carefree, and enjoying the last vestiges of their weekend gathering. There was no indication that tragedy lurked just around the corner, that their carefree afternoon would descend into a nightmare. The normalcy of the morning only amplifies the tragic turn of events that would soon unfold. It serves as a stark reminder that tragedy often strikes when we least expect it. As the day progressed, the group decided to venture out. A trip to the dollar store seemed like a good idea at the time, a mundane activity on an otherwise uneventful Sunday. The boys piled into an off-road vehicle, their laughter and conversation filling the air as they drove along the country roads. The casual nature of the afternoon, the seemingly insignificant decisions made, would later become imbued with a haunting quality. Every shared joke, every passing comment, would be replayed and dissected in the harsh light of hindsight. The contrast between the carefree atmosphere of the afternoon and the tragic events that would soon follow is jarring. It underscores the unpredictable nature of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. Foreboding video. As night fell, the atmosphere at the party house shifted. A verbal altercation erupted between Noah and Jack, their voices laced with alcohol-fueled anger. The argument, although heated, seemed to dissipate as quickly as it began. Caden, sensing the volatile mix of alcohol and heightened emotions, decided to document his younger cousin's intoxication and sent photos to his mother, who was worried about her niece. He filmed Noah and Brylan horseplaying with each other outside at 1:05 a.m. This seemingly insignificant act would later prove to be a crucial piece of evidence, a haunting reminder of the events leading up to the tragedy. Caden's decision to video these final moments foreshadow the tragic events that were about to unfold. It highlights the importance of recognizing how things can seemingly be fine one minute, and just a few hours later someone lost their life. What happened in such a short window of time? What happened to Noah? Noah's dead guys. The discovery of Noah's fate. The early morning hours, the boys were sleeping, and what happened next would forever alter the course of their lives. Jack burst through the door, voice trembling with a mixture of fear and urgency. "Noah's dead! Noah's dead, guys!" yells Jack. Panic surged through the group as they realized the gravity of the situation. Noah was dead? Caden frantically searched the living room for his other shoe, his heart's pounding in his chest. The carefree atmosphere of the weekend evaporated, replaced by a chilling sense of dread. The time, 5:15 a.m., marked a pivotal moment, shattering the illusion of normalcy and thrusting the group into a nightmare. It serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the suddenness with which tragedy can strike. Pieces of a tragedy. The group's grim discovery and the arrival of help. The group's worst fears were realized when they seen Noah's lifeless body lying on the shoulder of Highway 81. The sight of their friend, so full of life just hours earlier, now still and lifeless, sent shockwaves of grief and disbelief through them. As they grappled with the shock of their discovery, a service truck driver was already on scene, talking to Jack. He immediately contacted the authorities, you would think, right? But that's not the case here. 911 wasn't called until 5:53 a.m., and Oklahoma Highway Patrol didn't arrive until an hour later. The discovery of Noah's body and the arrival of help marked the beginning of a long and painful journey of grief and mystery. It also highlighted the importance of seeking help in times of crisis and the critical role that first responders play in such situations, where they are responsible for securing the scene and maintaining control of what could quickly become total chaos. And indeed it did. Become total chaos. This video delves into the mysterious and tragic events of a weekend party that abruptly ended on September 4th, Labor Day, just 10 months ago. Our journey will unravel the key interactions and their fateful consequences leading up to that night. Together, we'll seek to understand what truly happened and uncover lessons from this heartbreaking incident. That weekend stands as a haunting reminder of the importance of responsibility and awareness, and the dire outcomes that can arise from their absence. By meticulously examining the events, we aim to illuminate the critical need for proactive measures to prevent such tragedies in the future. The events of that weekend left an indelible mark on everyone involved, a chilling reminder of life's fragility and the profound importance of making responsible choices. Sunday morning dawned after a night of revelry at the party house. The atmosphere was languid, the remnants of the previous night's festivities still lingering in the air. Some members of the group decided to venture out for more beer, leaving a few, including Caden, at the house. The remaining group relaxed, their conversations casual and lighthearted. They were young, seemingly carefree, and enjoying